Let's begin by looking back at the incredible impact antibiotics have had on medicine. For decades, these drugs turned once deadly infections into manageable conditions, giving doctors and patients a sense of security. The success of antibiotics led many to believe that science would always stay one step ahead of bacteria. However, this confidence has been shaken in recent years. Resistance is now spreading faster than new antibiotics can be discovered, and the gap between our ability to treat infections and the bacteria's ability to adapt is growing. This shift marks a turning point, reminding us that the battle against infection is ongoing and that our previous assumptions need to be re-examined as we face new challenges. Bacteria are masters of evolution. They reproduce at astonishing speeds, sometimes within minutes, allowing them to adapt rapidly. Each new generation brings the chance for genetic mutations, and occasionally one of these changes helps a bacterium survive an antibiotic. When antibiotics are present, these survivors multiply, passing on their resistance. Meanwhile, developing a new antibiotic is a slow, complex process that can take years. During that time, bacteria may go through thousands of generations, constantly evolving. This speed difference gives bacteria a major advantage, making it difficult for science to keep up. The result is a race where bacteria often pull ahead, challenging our ability to control infections. Antibiotic resistance isn't just about biology, it's also about how we use these drugs. When antibiotics are prescribed for viral infections or taken incorrectly, resistance accelerates. Sometimes, patients stop their treatment early, leaving behind the strongest bacteria to survive and multiply. The broad or preventive use of antibiotics, especially when not truly needed, increases exposure and gives bacteria more chances to adapt. Across millions of people, these small decisions add up, creating enormous evolutionary pressure. The result is that resistance spreads quickly through communities, making infections harder to treat and threatening the effectiveness of our most trusted medicines. Use of antibiotics isn't limited to hospitals and clinics. In agriculture, antibiotics are often given to healthy animals to promote growth or prevent disease. This practice creates constant, low-level exposure that encourages resistant bacteria to thrive. These bacteria can then move from animals to humans through food, water, and the environment. Once resistance genes are present, they don't stay contained. They circulate across ecosystems, making the problem much bigger than healthcare alone. Tackling antibiotic resistance means looking beyond medicine and considering how our food systems and environment contribute to the spread. Bacteria have another trick up their sleeve. They can share resistance genes directly with each other, even across different species. This means that if one bacterium develops a useful defense, it can quickly pass that advantage on, turning resistance into a network problem. A single successful adaptation can spread rapidly, allowing many bacteria to gain protection without each one evolving it independently. This gene sharing makes resistance harder to control and highlights why coordinated efforts are needed to slow its spread. Finding new antibiotics is becoming more difficult. Many of the easy targets have already been used, and new drugs must be both effective against bacteria and safe for humans. Because antibiotics are usually taken for short periods, they're less profitable for pharmaceutical companies compared to long-term treatments. This has led to reduced investment in antibiotic research, even as resistance continues to rise. As a result, the pipeline for new drugs is shrinking, making it even more important to protect the antibiotics we already have. Even when a new antibiotic is introduced, resistance can emerge quickly. Bacteria may already have partial defenses or pick up resistance genes from their environment. This means that new drugs don't reset the system. They often start a new race against bacterial adaptation. Without changes in how we use antibiotics, each new drug becomes only a temporary solution. The cycle continues unless we address the root causes of resistance. Antibiotic resistance is not just a scientific problem. It's shaped by human behavior and the systems we build. Prescribing habits, patient choices, agricultural practices, and policy decisions all play a role in how quickly resistance spreads. Even the best new drug can fail if it's undermined by misuse or lack of coordination. Addressing resistance requires action across medicine, education, regulation, and industry. It's a challenge that goes beyond the lab and into every part of society. Because bacteria evolve faster than we can discover new antibiotics, protecting the drugs we already have is crucial. This means prescribing antibiotics only when truly necessary, completing full courses, and reducing misuse in agriculture. It also involves investing in vaccines, diagnostics, and targeted therapies that lower the need for antibiotics. By slowing the pace of resistance, we can extend the effectiveness of existing drugs and buy time for new solutions. Innovation is important, but stewardship is just as vital. In summary, antibiotic resistance is accelerating because bacteria evolve quickly, and our actions often give them new opportunities. Drug discovery is slow and challenging, but the situation is not hopeless. Antibiotics are a shared resource, and every use shapes their future. Preserving their power means recognizing the ongoing interaction between medicine and evolution and using what we have wisely. Stewardship is essential if we want antibiotics to remain effective for generations to come.